Hi guys, welcome. This is a video about Arch Linux. Welcome to the ArcoLinux University. And gradually you get more and more knowledge for this free operating system that is based on Arch. In phase 7 we teach you how to install ArcoLinux, the Arch Linux way. And that's difficult. If you've never been on Linux, you get a black screen. Now it's up to you, right? So here's the tutorial to get more information. Everything has been updated and changed a little bit. And one of the things that is missing is at some point in time at the bottom, and then we scroll back up. So if you go to the bottom and then back up, you have a choice. Which bootloader will I take? How will I boot up my system? Grub, that's for the old computers and the new computers. Refined, just for the new computers, and systemd boot just for the new computers. There's a fourth way, right? A fourth way that we've not described yet, that we're not in here yet. And actually, I wonder one thing. I'm just gonna quickly tell the system here to clear and preload the cache. Now I'm writing a fourth way to actually boot up your system, and that's with efistub. So something extra, a fourth way to do that, and it was already available in Arizer. So efistub as bootloader, as a fourth option to launch Arch, anything Arch, right? So arizer.eu is one of our ways to set it. Now, what's this all about? ArchWiki, right? And then efistub, and we're probably straight to the page. This is what I read. This is what I've been testing. And now I know exactly what to type where, right? And then we share the knowledge. So the actual installation, we're gonna install, do the complete installation, and we're not gonna watch out in the beginning already. We want to have number 4 here as choice. So let's go to Super F7 here, create something, clone something, and give it the name Arch Linux. I have already the ISO downloaded, and it's here from beginning of March, and we boot up with the guy from arcolinux.org website, right? So it's now 22 days old, beginning of March. We boot up, and then it's up to us. So let's show you what I've opened. I have this one open all the way up like this. We are in 5, let's go like this. We are at phase 7, Archway. We are mimicking to be a new system, right? Option number 4 is just not possible on old computers. So option 4 is only possible on new computers. And even then, we'll take a look at the ArchWiki. Even then they say, watch out. It's not always possible. So it's this page that I move to my second screen by. And then we boot up, and the first thing I'll have to do is get my Azerty. That's always my issue. That's the biggest work I have. Developing a new tile window manager, for example. Getting to grips with the keyboard. Then go on, connect to internet, all good. We're connected to internet because we're in VirtualBox. Time, date, CTL, set, NTP true. So I'm following what the page says. I'm scrolling down. Each thing I have to do has a blue lining, and I just do my work. This is important. Old machine, new machine. UEFI, not UEFI. We are mimicking UEFI. We want to have UEFI. The setting in VirtualBox is that it is UEFI. If it's not, you can start again. enable UEFI, right? Has to be like that. And then make it big again. So GPT, enter. And we're gonna make it super simple. Free space, 30.5 gigabyte, 1 gigabyte for EFI. Type EFI. The rest is just Linux file system. Now, people will say 1 gigabyte is a lot, but there was a time where ArcoLinux made a mistake or something, right? A link, and suddenly all our UEFI was completely filled up with kernel. The complete kernel came in there and everything stuck, right? So it's a safety that we have now introduced since that, I know, October, November last year. We had this issue. I said, okay, let's make this a little bit bigger, because 1 gigabyte, and the smallest size I can buy here in Belgium is 250 gigabyte. So 1 gigabyte out of 250, what's that? That's nothing. We're gonna write this thing, say yes, and now we're gonna quit this thing. What we've done is we've divided our pizza into 2 pieces, 1/25 and 24 pieces of 25, if you know what I mean, right? So just one little piece, well, actually about 1 of 30, actually, more or less, right? 29 I see there. So we got a piece, 1 piece for UEFI, another piece for the actual root system. That's it. No swap, nothing, no home. Keep it simple. 2 things. Then, I'm scrolling down. We need to format all these things. So basically we have if we continue with the image of a pizza, there's no cheese on it, no tomato on it, there's nothing on it. I can't write anything to it. I need to make it writable. Okay, so let's put some tomatoes on it. So the make file system dot fat minus f32 in device SDA1 is going to format that particular piece of the pizza, and the other one is going to be a ext4 device SDA2. Simple, no swap. Keep going. And then we need to mount everything. Mount device SDA2, which is the biggest one, inside MNT. And here it's important to read the text. It says, if you plan to use systemd boot, read that article. If you plan to use efistub instead of grub or anything else, then read also this article. What are they saying is, don't create a directory inside MNT boot. Just create, well, boot. That's it. Mount SDA1 inside boot. Now, well, let's make the mistake. If I want to mount SDA1 inside boot, he'll say does not exist. Hence, we have to do something. Make the directory MNT boot. Arrow up, mount it inside boot. Done. So now the device, that small slice from the beginning, the UEFI, is now booted or mounted inside MNT boot. Stop. So no EFI. Okay. Reason being, you got to read. It says up here, Pacman will directly update the kernel that the EFI firmware will read if you mount the ESP, so where you boot from, in boot. So we're gonna do that, right? And you can keep the kernel, etc., etc. So the tip up here is what we're applying, and we need to get here. All right. That's done. I'm scrolling down. So we have passed that thing. The mirrors will probably be still okay. Let's assume that's okay. What's not okay is nano etc Bachman. Yeah, correct. Bachman.conf. Down here it says no parallel downloads. I say yes, and I say 20, and I save. Next time around on your future system, you'll have to do that again. This is on the DVD, right, on the image. But it will make my work, that is this thing, backstrap -k, get me clean keys, and then base development is a choice of ours, Linux firmware, and nano is a choice of ours. And this with the 20 parallel is much faster than the 1. We scroll down, efistub is the next challenge. Yes, thank you. So let's generate a file system tab inside mount and write it to this particular file. That's an important step, this one. So that's why I recommend you have a look. Is it empty? Is it correct? Is it all right? So SA1 is in boot, and the other one, SA2, is the root. Okay, Control X. All right, scrolling down. Then we shroot, arch, shroot into mount. This is your future system. Have a look around, say, okay, give me the list of boot, for example. Oh, look at that. There's already something inside the boot folder, which is then SDA1. Right? And it has some, well, another way to look at things. Anyway, if we go and have a look what's next, then it's the time zone. All right, the time zone for me is -S, F is force, because we need to overwrite something. Zone info, Europe, and then Brussels, inside etc local time, enter. Hardware clock, Bachman is P. If the clocks are not okay, he stops working. Clocks are important. Locale, nano, etc locale gen. I can only give you this advice: search in English. You'll get more hits than you search in Japanese, Hungarian, or whatever other language, and set your systems accordingly. So ENUS UTF-8, Control X, yes, please. And then locale gen, generate me the language. Fine. Scrolling down, we need to put some information about our language in files. Every detail matters. Capital letters, underscores, everything matters. Don't make, well, do not make typos. Put it inside etc locale.conf. It's that important, and I sit back with my arms crossed, looking from one screen to the other, deciding to press enter or not, right? No typos allowed. Equals BE Latin 1. So figure out what is your key map, your keyboard, and then etc vconsolator conf. Check, 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 enter. All right, host name, next one. The computer's name is ArcoLinux. I'm going to put it inside etc hostname. Done. Nano etc hosts. There's a bit of typing. Ooh, that's thunder. No good for the computers. Local host. Let's keep typing as fast as we can. ArcoLinux local domain. Press tab. And yes, no typos. Yes, there is a typo. I'm gonna save and go back in. This is typo. Okay. Next thing. Let's hope the thunder goes away. The storm. -s network manager. And then we need to activate it. Watch out with this one. Capital N. Enable first. Enable, yes, systemctl. Enable. Capital N, network manager, capital M. 3 lines, you're good. Go on. Root password. Password. 1, 2. Done. And then we're at the page, right? Bootloaders. You choose grub, refine, system deboot. In this case, I want to go further. I want to go to the other one, which is now our page. Where are you, page? Still not showing. Here I see. Here, yes. And that's going to be the page about EFI stub. Let's show you what I'm looking at. So if we are down here, we have EFI stub as bootloader. We go to this page, a link to this information page. That needs updating maybe, who knows, right? I need to fix this, I see. And then we have my code of example. That works. All right, so that one goes to the right. And let's do this. Last step. I need to boot. Would be nice if I could boot. So I'm gonna ask him, go and have a look at efistub and show me what you got. So this is what I need. The number of device SDA2, user ID, BFF, so best friends forever or something, BFF, and then 71, etc., etc., right? So to my right is the exact code. What I have not mentioned is, I should mention in the article, we need the manager. We need the application. So EFI boot manager is now installed. And now I can of course type EFI boot manager. And I read it all. So should you, right? Have a look. These are the possibilities. Now let's do a clear. And then let's go type. What I'm gonna do as well is first, because this is the critical bit, that is set font. Should have done that earlier. My apologies. I hope to remember it next time for you guys. Voila. Arch root into MNT. We're back in. And we're going to type EFI boot manager. Well, first of all, I need to do, does he still know? He still knows. Voila, the code that I need to type over. EFI boot manager, and then create me a disk device SDA, not 1, not 2, that's where I went wrong, minus P, the first partition you have is number 1, that's the EFI, and then minus L is the label, capital L was the label, you can call it anything you like, and then the Linux kernel, small l, with a slash, VM Linux, if you have Linux LTS, this is the place to change it, minus U was user Unicode, U was Unicode, so rather than typing the complete things, I stick to the least amount of work, least amount of typing, and then root equals, and now it comes, right? It's a lot of typing. User ID. I'm looking at the line beneath def SDA2 equals best friends with another F, a 7.1, an A, a 6, a C, a minus, A, 2.9F, dash, 47E7, A, 0, 2D, minus, and that's the long bit, CD, 39C, 39A3, 9I3, and now we check. Okay, BFF, 71A, 6C, A29F, 47A, what's that? 47A7, 47E7 minus A02D 438CD39C39A3. Right? Read and write, please. Would be nice. Init RD equals that one. A backslash, not a slash. Init RAM file system Linux dot image with a slash. So that's what we need. Let's go back to the page. So that's our page, and what we could add is more things like init RT Intel ucode if we need it, or maybe even a fallback if you want it, and if it's LTS it's going to be this. So read from other people's code for extra additions. Maybe you'll find LUX, so encrypted things as well online, and that's going to be complete different code. I think we're good, and there's only one thing. It's either good and it works, or it's wrong and you're back booting up in ArcoLinux DVD or ISO, right? So that's why I'm so hesitant in entering and rebooting, and I'm gonna check once more if we have the BFF71 A6C A29, otherwise I have to make another video, right, and start all over again. No, I don't think I have typos. And then you see this. The second line is important. Boot order start with 5. And 5 is at the bottom. ArcoLinux, my name I gave it. HD 1 is GPT and it has a number. FAC62, etc. 4523 420C. Linux root BFF, that's my number, 71A 6C A29F 47E7 A02 438 CD 39 C39A3. Okay, let's hope. Then it's just follow the next steps, which is exit this thing, umount -r mount, and hope for the best. And then we get this. We made a mistake. OMG, right? OMG, we made a mistake. Somewhere in there we made a mistake. So we're booting back up as DVD, as CD, as ISO. And I know this might be interesting tutorial wise, but it's no fun for me, right? Do it over again. And there's no easy way of doing things. Let's see what I can do. Oh, first of all, load keys. What and how can I save me some time? I can mount the device SDA2 back to MT. I can mount the device SDA1 inside MNT boot, and I can arch-root into it. This is the way to fix things, by the way. Arch-root into your mount. We're in, right? CD boot ls. We have this in there. And the last thing I did was this. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? All right. That one. Where's my page? Page is here. Let's put my page on my second screen and go back in here. So if I boot manager -cd device SDA -p1 capital L ArcoLinux small l VM Linux. Oh, there we are. Always do that. It's not the first time. Z. Linux, we say Linux, but it's VM Linux with Z. Linux -u root and all that is okay, I guess. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. Exit, reboot, be my friend. I'm recording this, please. Don't think you'll listen. But keep your fingers crossed. This looks awesome. Right? This is the normal EFI stuff, which means there's nothing. Control R. This is how it will look in the future. Well, and we're in. Yes. And maybe it can help somebody else. That was the arch-root way of fixing things. Mount it, arch-root it. Done. Don't make difficult partitions. Don't use ButterFS because that makes it also very complex, a very long way, but it can be done, of course. Knowledge is everything, but this is the easy way, right? ext4, 2 partitions, done. Now, we should actually go forth into the next bit, which is just next step at the bottom of the article, where they say, well, you either have the 3, well, now we'll have the 4 ways of installing. Actually, I should take a picture. I should take a picture like this. This is saved as EFI stuff for my article. Not much to see except the version there. And then we root, or logging, we root, and then my password for root, and off we go, typing the rest. Yes, we do have internet. Yes, this is the future system. So nano etc pacman.conf. It's gonna take a while. If you take just one download, I'm gonna take 20, much faster. 3 minutes time to install ArcoLinux. This way. Multilib will decide later if you want it or not. Bash completion. I can't live without bash completion. And that's your tab. So to the left you have this arrow left, arrow right thing. That's the tab. You can, oh my god, you can use it to autocomplete texts. So bash completion is in for the whole enchilada, for everybody. But everybody's not there yet. So let's make an ID for me. -m -g users -g watch out. Okay, -g -m -g users -g. So now all the groups, video group, network group, wheel group, that's the most important one. Storage and rfkill -s. I'd like to have bin bash as default shell. Done. Password for Eric is gonna be a very complex password indeed. And then we're gonna make sure that Eric can do something as sudo. And that's this line. Tab, page down. And in here, click, Control X, yes, please. So the wheel all, enter. Then let's exit time in here, and I become Eric. Ta-da! And I have to type sudo now. We're up to date. How is that possible? And then we're scrolling down, and it's the next step. And that's phase 3. Phase 3 is making sure we have something graphical. This is nice, right? All in black. But, right? It has its limitations. So, -s. They say we should install xorg server, xorg apps, and xinit if you want that as well. Did not do it. And xterm is optional if you want a terminal. So xinit, there's another one, xorg, xinit, that I forgot to type. Okay. And then you scroll down and you say there are drivers. In VirtualBox you don't have to care about drivers, which is awesome. They're Intel, AMD and NVIDIA drivers. They talk about LightDM. So let's install sddm. sudo pacman -s sddm. You need to be greeted by something. I am now greeted by sddm. Hi. Hiya. But I have not enabled it. So sudo systemctl enable sddm, please. That's the line you need to have. If there's an issue, -f, force it. And then it will be okay. Now if I can reboot and I get this beautiful SDM, that there's nothing behind, right? So I need to have something behind it. And in the case of Plasma, maybe with the new Plasma release Q6 coming out, why not that one? There is Plasma, there's Plasma Meta. And how do you know all these things? Have you heard of the ArcoLinux wiki, right? ArcoLinux wiki. This is how all my searches begin. And then something. KDE. Install the Plasma Meta package as Plasma group. Differences, you can have a look. Install Plasma Desktop, Plasma Mobile. Lots of things. KDE applications Meta. I mean, this is just a full set of all KDE applications, and that's great. Immediately you know what has Plasma to offer, and you'll realize that 10% of it will be used by you and all the rest no, right? It's just decision. A lot of Lego blocks. Will I play with all these Lego blocks? Nah, probably not. So you choose the fun Lego blocks. And that's up to you. You decide what to install. So Plasma, there it is. There we go. And then enter, enter, enter. Basically, I followed the default settings that ArcoLinux says. But of course, you can deviate and say, not 1, but 2 or 3. Et voilà. Most important thing is, if we reboot, is efistub gonna work, right? And will it be working after different kernel updates and NVIDIA updates and whatever happens to your system, right? efistub is what has been added to the bootloaders for ArcoLinux. If you want that, we have it in Arizer, we have it in Sierra, so arizer.eu. Pico, the developer of the LS scripts, has the option in there, efistub, exclamation mark. In front of it means it will not be used. Delete the exclamation mark and it will be used. So the reboot, that's Arizer. Let's reboot. So this look is the look if booting up is with efistub. And this is just your Plasma. There we go. Welcome to Plasma. And there is still a lot to be installed. This is very minimal. There must be some dependency because VLC is in there. They'll figure it out, the guys of Arch. I say, oh, okay, let's remove that. So there you go. We have Plasma installed, basically from A till Z. Yeah, let's just shut it down. Normally, shut down. Okay. And efistub is working. We can do another test to see how it looks. These lines will be shown and then off you go. There's no graphical anything to make it nice or anything like that. And that concludes the video about efistub, which is documented over here, which is documented over here. And you can try to choose this, try to install this. All right, cheers.